Hi everyone, this is Margaret Manning and welcome to Mornings with 60andMe. This is the time where you get to get caught up on world events, and here are some stories that I've selected that I think will be of interest to our community, and really to leave your comments and to start a conversation about the things that are important to you in your life. So I am in France. I'm visiting a friend here in the south of France, and I'm in her beautiful home. So the background here is not my normal studio apartment in Switzerland, but it's really lovely here. The sun is coming out today. It's going to be a beautiful morning, hopefully. So hope the same's with you. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I am having my cup of coffee this morning. It is France after all. And they make great coffee. And getting started with my day. So here's some news that happened overnight, and give you a brief overview. So, big news in the States, of course, is that Bernie Sanders has finally endorsed Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination, and they are now, as he says, united to beat their Republican opponent. So that's big news for the United States. And actually, the presidential conventions are coming very soon. The Republican convention is in Cleveland, and that's going to, I think it's got about 2,500 delegates, and that's July the 18th to 21st. And then just a week later, the Democratic convention is in Philadelphia. They've got about 4,000 delegates, and that's the 25th to the 28th of July. So, I never really knew what happened at these conventions, but apparently, you probably do, that there were the delegates get together and obviously select their presidential and vice presidential candidate, and also to decide and vote on party policies and things that are important to the party. So this is going to be, their responsibility to choose the nominees for their party's, presidential race. So pretty interesting and exciting few weeks ahead. So that's the news in the States. In Europe, well, of course, the big news in the United Kingdom is that they have a new prime minister today, Wednesday. The events will be happening later on in the day. And, I just wanted to tell you real briefly who their new prime minister is, because you've heard this name, Theresa May. Who is she? Where did she come from? What's her background? And she truly is a very interesting woman. She first of all, the most important thing to start with is she stood for the Remain Remain vote in the referendum. So she wanted Britain, United Kingdom, to stay in the EU. But she yesterday, when she was speaking, said, Brexit is Brexit. She will now do what she's been elected to do and enforce it. So that's important. She is 59 years old. She's the daughter of a vicar, and in American terms, that's a pastor or head of a church. She's a vicar of the Church of England, and she was born in Eastbourne, which is down on the south coast by the sea. She went to public school, so she was not in a private school. She went to the normal schools like everyone else, and was raised like a very, or normal child. She studied geography at Oxford University, and obviously she got that degree. Worked at the Bank of England for many years, almost 10 years, and then got involved in politics and started grassroots, stuffing envelopes and, grassroots politics in the UK, and then got into government and was elected the councillor for the borough of Merton in London, and did that for about 10 years. And of course, then she was elected into government and nominated as the Home Secretary in 2010. So she's a fascinating woman, and she's going to be, the new prime minister, or she is the new prime minister of the United Kingdom, and she's going to be dealing with, the issues around Brexit, but also getting the economy back and, really stabilizing United Kingdom. She's been described by, I think it was the Financial Times, that she's a liberal conservative, and she has been compared to Angela Merkel in Germany. So it's going to be fascinating times ahead to see how that all works out. On a more sad note, in Europe, there was a train crash yesterday in Italy, and it really breaks my heart because this is a part of Italy that I just discovered in the summer last year. I was in Puglia on a trip, and I actually traveled on the train on that line, and it's a beautiful. Wow, it's really sad. It's a beautiful line, and it's lovely countryside. And there's a part of the train track where it's a single track, so trains use it from both directions. And on the way to Bari from Barletta. So the two trains crashed on that single track. And it's just such a shame that I think 22 people, perhaps even more by now, have been killed, and obviously lots injured. So our hearts go out to the people of Italy. It's just a tragic accident. So I just hope that, our condolences to everyone who was involved, even the staff and the train drivers and their families. It's just awful. But anyway, that's the news for Europe. Now, Asia is warming up a bit here. There's a very interesting dialogue going on between China and other countries in that region, specifically Philippines this time. And it's over the use of the sea. It's called the South China Sea, but it really actually isn't that close to China. But it's a sea that has great mineral resources, of course, fishing, and both China, Philippines, a lot of other countries want access to that sea. But China, over the last few years, has been building islands, like just making islands and putting military bases on them, and just treating it as if it was theirs. Manila didn't like this, so they took it to one of the courts in Europe to settle. One of the international courts to settle. And the court yesterday, I think it was the Hague Permanent Court of Arbitration, they decided that China had no right to this part of the ocean. So that was the vote was against China. And China, of course, ignored that and it just carried on. So we'll see what's going to happen here. I looked at the news this morning and it says, that had big headlines, is this the next global confrontation? It's a big deal because the resources in that part of the ocean are very valuable. And so we'll see what happens between China and her neighbors there. So that's the news from around the world and America. And one more, this is kind of a story that I just think is interesting. It's something that United States people will know all about. It's not in Europe or Asia yet, but it's Pokémon Go, a new game that has been released by Nintendo. Now, Nintendo, was a really big company in the gaming business many years ago, and then kind of went a little bit quiet. And they had Pokemon, I think about, I'm trying to remember the date, I think it was in the 90s when it was super popular, this little yellow character called Pokemon. And, well, after, laying low for many years, Nintendo is back, and they've launched this game called Pokemon Go. And what's really interesting, of course, is it uses all the latest technology, and it uses your phone, your smartphone GPS, to basically know where you are and recommend and tell you that there are Pokemon characters in your vicinity, in the park, in your basement, upstairs in your attic. And the idea is for you to go and find them. And I guess there's some point system that works out here, but the whole deal is that it gets you out and about. And so everyone's talking about Pokemon as a really great way for older people, younger people, to just get into the world, walk, talk to strangers, talk to friends, to find Pokemon where they're hiding all around you. And it's kind of a combination of a game and what's called augmented reality. And I'll talk more about augmented reality in the future because it's a fascinating development. And honestly, we just cannot keep still with this technology. It's just, moving so fast every day. But I guess I would like to ask anyone in the community, have you downloaded Pokemon Go yet? Have you found him in any interesting places? I'm assuming it's a he. Well, anyway, have you found any Pokemon characters in your neighborhood? And just give us your experience on it. It'd be really fun to know if any of our community has become addicted. And I guess it's becoming addictive. People are going completely crazy over Pokemon. So, okay, here we go with my feel-good story for the day. I love this story. This story is about Larry the cat. Now, you may wonder who Larry the cat is. Well, Larry the cat lives in number 10 Downing Street. He is the cat that lives where the UK leadership lives. So he has, by the way, voted to remain. He voted to remain in the House in number 10 Downing Street. And the new Prime Minister, Theresa May, has agreed to let him stay on. He is the minister in charge of catching mice and rats. And that's his job. And he's he's got a commitment to do it. So poor little Larry. Anyway, but he's so cute. He's a sweet little tabby. He's like black and ginger and white, really, really sweet. And tough looking little cat though. You'll see pictures of him. Hopefully we can find one to include. But he's staying in Downing Street and carrying on his job, his important job. He has a Twitter account. He has thousands of followers. And there's been some great Twitter tweets about him sitting there typing away, doing his work in number 10 Downing Street. So I think that's really great. Pets are really big in the UK. Well, they are around the world. So, and there's been a whole stream of cats at Downing Street. There was Humphrey and what was the other one? There was a Sybil. but now it's Larry. So Larry's in charge at Downing Street. And I guess that's my fun story for the day. I think that I hope these are interesting to you, and I would love you to tell me, what's on your mind, what stories would intrigue you, what you'd like to know more about, and I'll do my best to research them and report back. I think it's just important to stay in touch with the world, both events and inventions, innovations, and discoveries. So before I go, I want to share something with you. So yesterday I was on the train at the train station coming down to the south of France, and I saw a machine selling Cosme tea. It looks backwards on the screen here. Cosme. So Cosme is like a French phenomenon. It's everywhere. Everywhere that you go, Cosme tea is served. It has an amazing range of beautiful detox teas, green teas, floral teas, herbal teas. And this one is green tea, of course, one of my favorites, with ginger and lemon. And I would love to find a home for this little box of tea. The packaging is great. The tea is amazing. I've actually had this one before. It's very good. So if you would like this little box of tea, just leave a comment in the section below, and I'll choose randomly someone to give this gift to, and we'll leave it till the end of the day. So leave your comments on any of the subjects we've talked about, and I'll get this in the post to you, okay? So my question for today, which I think goes back to Pokemon, is what is the one product that you would like someone to invent? What is the one thing you'd like someone to invent that would be useful to you? Leave your comments in the section below, and we'll have a great conversation about that. But for now, have a fabulous day. Hope you have a wonderful day, everyone, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning on Mornings at 60 and Me. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye for now.